Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargava. Welcome to Tit-Bits on Business and Finance with me. The rot in India's banking and financial system is not yet fully out in the open, and thus, with very predictable regularity, we hear of more and more entities biting the dust, and that their promoters have indulged in scammy transactions. The big ones in this list so far have been the likes of il&fs, PMC Bank, DHFL, and there were similar allegations in the case of Reliance Capital and India Bulls also, except that they did not get proved, they were not confirmed. It is no coincidence that all these big entities in the finance sector which were found to be rotten were Mumbai headquartered, and that's because Mumbai happens to be the financial banking capital of India, and here is where the rot lies. If newspaper reports are to be believed, if reports and sections of the media are to be believed, then the new kid on the block in this list of rotten entities happens to be Edelweiss. The report says that the Enforcement Directorate Mumbai has been investigating a huge foreign exchange smuggling racket of over 2,000 crores conducted by a little known company called Capstone Forex, which incidentally has its office tucked away in a faraway suburb of Mumbai called Mira Bhayandar, and its office operates out of a residential apartment. This particular company is at the center of a huge foreign exchange Forex violation. What it did was that it prepared a bogus list of tourists acquired foreign exchange, and it was illegally acquired and illegally given away also. Where does Edelweiss fit into it? The reports say that the 2,000 crores for acquiring this particular bunch of foreign exchange in violation of the law was provided by the Edelweiss group, and that the entities that received this illegal foreign exchange from Capstone Forex also happen to be entities from related or included in the Edelweiss group. And what was the common connect between Capstone Forex and the Edelweiss group? The common connect is that a gentleman called Sanjay Nathal Shah happens to be an independent director on the board of some companies of the Edelweiss group, and he is also said to be extremely close to the promoters of Capstone Forex, and thus we have a direct bridge between these two entities. The media reports further say that Sanjay Nathal Shah has already been interrogated by the Enforcement Directorate and that he has spilled the beans. It seems that he has said that there have been Forex violations by Capstone Forex to this amount, and that the funding was provided by the Edelweiss group and they were also the beneficiaries of this foreign exchange smuggling racket. Since the provider of finance and also the beneficiary happens to be the Edelweiss group, it was but natural that the Enforcement Directorate would call the founder, chairman, CEO of the Edelweiss group, Mr. Rashesh Shah, for questioning. He was first summoned on the 3rd of January. He did not appear. He was thereafter summoned on the 9th of January. He did not appear again. And if reports are correct, he has been asked to appear on the 13th of January. The point that Enforcement Directorate needs to ask him is, how did and why did Edelweiss fund Capstone Forex, and why was the foreign exchange taken back by the Edelweiss group? Certain media channels say that the size of the scam of this foreign exchange smuggling racket is not a mere 2,000 crores. They say it is over 10,000 crores, and that it is being investigated not just by the ED but also by the Income Tax Directorate and the Intelligence Bureau, and that Edelweiss is at the center of it for reasons we just said. These are the reports in the media so far. In respect of these shocking allegations by the media, the Edelweiss group said that it has had no transactions whatsoever with Capstone Forex. It said that these allegations are wild, baseless and unauthenticated, and it denied any involvement in this smuggling racket. Mr. Rashesh Shah said that this is not the first time that the ED has called Edelweiss, and he said that as responsible corporates, they will fully cooperate with the Enforcement Directorate in its investigation. Edelweiss further said that these allegations made are completely false. They were made without taking its side of the story by the media in a fair and proper manner, and it said that it will do all that it needs to do in order to protect its reputation and see that its interests are not harmed. The group further says that their group is founded on highest standards of corporate governance and the strongest of ethics, and they will abide by it. The fact is that Edelweiss at this stage does not deny that summons have been received from the Enforcement Directorate and that its role in this entire affair with Capstone Forex is being investigated. It also does not claim that it is the victim of any kind of vendetta. All that it says that it has had no dealings with Capstone Forex. The issue here is of direct dealings and indirect dealings. And whenever any scam of this nature takes place, no corporate will ever have direct dealings with the scamster. It would be completely unreasonable to even expect that Edelweiss would have directly funded Capstone Forex. These kinds of funds are provided through layering of companies. These funds are not directly given. These transactions are not directly executed. No money trail is allowed to be built. So our question is that in case Edelweiss says that it has had no dealings with Capstone Forex, it needs to prove that it did not have dealings whether directly or indirectly. And the indirect deals would be that it funded certain other entities which in turn passed on the money to Capstone Forex. And the indirect deal at the other end would be that Capstone Forex gave that foreign exchange that it illegally acquired to certain entities which finally would have passed it on to Edelweiss. Edelweiss needs to prove that when it says that it has had no involvement with Capstone Forex, that must be so whether directly or indirectly. This indirect route of getting involved, of not letting a money trail be there in case of illegal fraudulent transactions, is a very old age practice. Even in the case of il&fs, we found that lots of transactions took place between il&fs and other entities, all routed through shell companies. That's the standard format. And Edelweiss needs to come clean whether it lent money directly or indirectly, whether it dealt with Capstone Forex in respect of that smuggled foreign exchange directly or indirectly. It needs to prove that it has had no connect with those companies which have dealt with Capstone Forex. And interestingly, while Sanjay Nathalal Shah happens to be a bridge between the two entities, it raises a lot of doubts. It cannot just be a mere coincidence. And Edelweiss will also need to come clean on that. That why has there been such an unfortunate incident that a person who is its independent director has been related to such a scammy entity? And our question also is, which Edelweiss will need to answer in case it wants to remove the taint from its reputation, is why did Edelweiss as a group, whether directly or indirectly, want to deal with a Capstone Forex which has been involved in this kind of an illegal activity? To us, Edelweiss needs to look into all these matters, come with a disclosure, come out with the evidence before it will be able to say that it was not involved in the matter at all. Till it is not done, we certainly continue to say that a number of entities still remain in the banking and finance system in India which have a tainted situation. The entire rot of India's banking and finance industry is not yet out in the open. Until that is not sorted out, you can be sure India's banking and financial crisis will continue. The reality is that when these kind of entities manage to remain concealed, and we hope that Edelweiss is able to prove that it is not one such entity, but the reality is when they remain concealed, the rot in the system festers. If by chance Edelweiss is found to have actually indulged in this kind of a huge smuggling forex racket, then we have our standard questions. What was the regulator? What were the auditors? What were the independent directors in the case of Edelweiss doing that they did not stop these kind of transactions from taking place? Our second question that also then comes is that why is it that these kind of transactions are allowed to become so huge before they are disclosed? Why were they not nipped in the bud? And our only answer is that this kind of a failure, if found to be correct, is a system failure. It is the entire system which has been willing to be collusive, negligent and incompetent, and because of that, these kind of large ticket scandals can take place if it has taken place. We do hope that Edelweiss is able to live up to its claim that it has no involvement in the matter and ED gives it a clean chit. Until it doesn't do that, keep watching. Till it doesn't do that, according to us, even the tenability of Mr. Rashesh Shah as the founder CEO of a large finance company remains questionable. After all, if there was any such involvement, he is not a fit and proper person to be the chairman of a large finance group. This is Akhilesh Bhargava signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.